Hey, it's the podcast guy.
Sutton United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Sutton Podcast.
And there it is! Sutton United at the GM Vauxhall Conference have put out First Division Coventry City, winners of the FA Cup themselves less than 2 years ago. And what a moment to enjoy for the fans of this Surrey side. They've had their moments before, but never one like this. But the whistle goes down. Delight for Sutton United. Sutton United from the National League are through to the last 16 of the FA Cup. No longer English football's perennial non-league club. A 123-year crescendo reaches a new peak for Sutton United, who are promoted to the Football League for the first time.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Sutton United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Sutton Podcast in association with Lucky Star Gin. I'm your host, Mike, and if you're a regular listener, thank you very much. I really am grateful for your time. If you are new here, please stay again and do another one. Joe's already shaking his head. I can't believe it.
New record.
We are sponsored by Lucky Star Gin, and today I'm delighted to have Joe on here to roll his eyes, shake his head, and all the rest of it. We love hearing from you. Join the conversation. Give us your likes, shares, comments, and all the rest of it at Sutton Podcast on all socials. And thanks to everyone who does this on a regular basis, especially TikTok. I put one up the other day because I logged in. There's like 20, 30 likes. I did a little video, and then they all started liking that. And I was like, oh, here we go. We could be here forever doing this.
He's a big time. He's big time now.
Big time, I know. But Joe, how are you?
I am brilliant. I am having
You're
a wonderful
brilliant.
time.
Well,
Apart from the football.
never mind football. Last time we were
Other
on,
than
we were waiting for some results, weren't we? Or did
We
or
were,
Television.
and the results were wonderful. I got into Warwick University, and I got an A star and 2 A's, which is very good. Very happy.
Excellent.
But it doesn't like you sit in the glory of it for about 24 hours, and then you realise, oh crap, I've got like a month to get everything and figure out my life. So, I enjoyed it for that weekend, and now I went to Blue Water and IKEA today, and I feel like I'm buying a house when it's only really a flat the size of a cow. So, it's fun, but it's everyone's experience, and I'm watching about 150 other people my age trying to fumble their way through the IKEA kitchen section was quite amusing to me. But it's rite of passage, I guess. But no, I'm very good, Mike, and having a great summer.
Surely you can cook noodles. You'll be all right.
I'm fine. I'm not going to be a problem. I can cook and I can live.
If you have no money for food,
that's a good point. So if push comes to shove, that you might see me on in the following Saturdays with a little bucket saying the Joe O'Connor Coffee Foundation, just to raise food for the first few weeks of uni. And, please do give generously.
go fund me ramming.
Go fund me. I want to deliver room.
Go fund Joe. Right. I did send you the question in the invite. You've forgotten what it is, but we will do the little jingle, and then you'll be thinking. Oh, hang on. I haven't even changed that part of the question. 1 second. I'll find out what the question is that I sent you.
I know what the question is.
Yeah. How do you manage the highs and lows of being a football supporter throughout the season? Quite relevant on topic, and I did send it to you a couple of weeks ago, so bear with. Right, first of all, everyone, Sally's just shouted out, do you mean the lows and lows, which is outrageous. But Joe, how do you manage the highs and lows of a football season?
It's changed as I've turned 18. Yeah. No. I mean, I think the one thing, especially I think about this club, is the lows you have around the people who are there to make them slightly less worse lows, and even the highs feeling better because you're around the people who make those highs feel even more intense and wonderful. Me personally, I think you have to have the positive mental attitude, as Mike was reminded me before the podcast began. But yeah, it's spending time with people that want to make you enjoy yourself, but spending time with people that make you laugh and people that make you happy, that always makes stuff better. It's kind of a soppy answer, but this is the truth. I mean, yesterday we had not the greatest result, but I had a wonderful evening celebrating the legend that is Vicky Garner's birthday in the bar, and it was a wonderful evening, and I got to spend some time with some lovely people. So yes, including the very man behind the podcast, Mr. Mike Dowling. So it was a wonderful evening, and it made the low of quite a depressing result slightly less bad, and ended the evening on a high. So it's all about transformations.
Yeah, we've had 2 managers now with the sort of mantra of never too high, never too low, and the previous one is it's something like 99% low and 1% good, and you've got to enjoy it. You've got to have the low to enjoy the good. So yeah, it's never about the result. It's about the day, I think, anyway. I don't know. But yeah, give us your answers. Share your thoughts on social media. Although no one ever does this. At Sutton Podcast, how do you manage the highs and lows of a football season? There was some information about the coaches, but I think the Rochdale one didn't quite get enough in there. I don't think so. The next away game is a little while, so I'll pick that up on the next one. And the ladies team, they lost today to Dartford. I think it was 0-0 at half time and lost 2-0 overall. But Dartford are one of those clubs that are always going to be up there at the moment. Quite strangely, I noticed on their Twitter they've got the sort of, I think they might even have more than the Dartford men players, or they've got the blue tick or something. Nothing very exciting on the podcast. I interviewed Robin Jones yesterday in hospitality. I thought that went really, really well. And Alex Kirk, which went well, but as Kirky said, he was like, I haven't really got much to add at the moment. I've been out injured for quite a while. So, but yeah, good bloke, and I hope he gets well very soon. It's broken back. It's like, the man's walking
Not
around.
great.
I'm like, are you sure you should be walking about? But yeah, he seemed in good spirits, and he was hinting quite a while. But hopefully 2025 it will be before he comes back. But if not, early 26. So on to yesterday, a little bit of a change up in the lineup. We saw Nadas drop to the bench and Brandon come in. Was there anything in that lineup that surprised you, or anything that you'd wish to happen?
I think Brandon deserves a start. I think he's had a better start to the season. I think he provides more pressing, more intense. I think his runs are better, and I think he's more involved in the build-up of a goal. I think Nadas is brilliant runner, brilliant striker, and just hasn't been able to show it. And I think Brandon deserved the start, and also Ash started on Wednesday, so makes sense to switch it up. No Woody. I mean, he's starting to get back to full fitness. I was disappointed to not even see him on the bench. I thought he was excellent at Solihull Moors, and I think he's really, compared to where he was last season, he's leaps and bounds ahead, and just, disappointed not to see him. Tizard wasn't playing. I thought he might play, but I wasn't entirely sure. Good to see Mo Darber on the bench. Hasn't really, obviously with injury and just people getting into their stride, hasn't really had a shot in that midfield. But yeah, pretty the team I expected. No Kane Critchlow, which is, I thought he was pretty good at Solihull Moors, but nothing really came from it. But yeah, I thought Brandon was deserved to start. Nobody was a bit disappointing, but Jaden and David have certainly started the season in a positive manner, and I think Brandon kind of staked his claim yesterday.
Yeah, it would have also given Scunthorpe a little bit to think about, because you would have probably assumed Nadas was going to be starting, so it would have given him a little bit. I like the two different strikers that you can switch it up, and it gives the defence, again, they have to then switch on, think how they're going to deal with someone. It was a seesaw match. It was a 0-1, 2-1, 3-2-3 game. So good for the neutrals, but none of us are neutral, so not that great for us. On balance, they probably deserve the lead. I know you're watching with a slightly different sort of viewpoint these days, but did you feel that they were on top for that sort of first half?
Yeah, 100%. They were better. They were more in it. They won second balls. Those first 15, 20 minutes, I was really worried. I texted Jack Daly and I said, I'm worried. And then Jack Taylor scored.
Yeah.
So I was less worried. But at the first 20, I'd say the first half an hour, we just weren't on it enough. We looked like, you need a bit more of a physical presence up top. And we only had Brandon and David, which doesn't work. Because if you've got, they're two, so I think like 6'3" minimum, both of them. It just doesn't work if we're playing that long ball stuff. And every time we did, we were riding our luck, just, people trying to take it forward and getting tackled. It's just like we couldn't get it sorted out, reminiscent of problems at Forest Green and Fulham before that. So, yeah, it was a bit worrying, and they definitely deserve. They could have had more. That number 7, Howe, and on the left was a real problem. He looks like a really solid player. Callum Roberts on the right was kept more quiet by Vincent, but I don't think it's anything to do with Aaron Jones on the other side. I think Howe just is a very good player. Whitehall through the middle, Beast in before he went off injured again. Their attack, it was just they looked so clean from front to back, whereas we just looked like a kind of a tale of the last half. God knows, since season after we got to the Pizza Cup final. Just I think there are so many times in so many games, and I'm the manager, no matter the team, no matter the players, where we seem so much like defence and attack rather than a team, and that is our problem. And it's just there were reminiscence of the way we played in that in relegation season. Just the way we were if we didn't have anywhere to go, it'd just go up, and if back then we did for Harry Smith, but now you've not even got an aerial presence up there, so it was just kind of nowhere. But tide turned, and we did well to fight back and get a goal from a set piece, which is something which is coming a bit more regularly this season. I know.
Corner as well. I mean, at the time I was just delighted we scored, but watching it back, I was like, he had all the time in the world there, didn't he? The ball was kind of put onto his head, and he was like, I'm wondering where I'm going to place this. But probably congratulate him. But Jack, great first goal, and brought us back into it. But from what you're saying, there were people seem to not want the ball or just to get rid of it. Do you think that's because they're then getting worried about losing the ball, getting caught in possession? What we're doing? Do we give this little get rid of it energy? I don't know. Obviously, there are people who've much more experience than either you or I at football, but there's got to be something to be why is this happening?
I think it's a twofold thing. I think Scunthorpe will pull up a lot of trees this season. Everyone expects, coming up from the National League North, but they're a big club. They were underperforming. They should have been up the season before that. They are good, and I wouldn't be surprised if they continue this vein of form. They should be top half comfortably. Their press was excellent, really strong. As was Forest Green's the other night. JT didn't have the greatest first half an hour. He really struggled, and I was really glad. He should have a really good second half. But the goal gave him confidence. It's a few shaky last few games, but the goal gave him a lot of confidence, which was good. I don't think it's people don't want the ball. I just think, I don't even know. Tactically, it looked like we just couldn't find players. Whether that be, the system they played just meant that our gaps weren't there. So that's a tactical thing. Is it the players, okay, is there a certain amount of rigidity in the way they're thinking, coming off the back of a 4-0 and a 7-0 and a 0-0 and no win this season and, no home game win, all that. In your head, I'm sure there's something a little bit there, a bit like, okay, I want to do my instructions to be in this position, but, you've got to stray from that if the ball isn't on, and you've got to find a way around it. First half, it was like we were so unwilling to go away from the instruction or the role that they were playing that they were more flexible, and they picked up pieces from that and could sense a slight sense of hesitancy. I wouldn't say it's fear, because I don't think we have fear. I think the way we played in the second half show is not fear. It's just a little bit of hesitation, which we need to eradicate quickly, because teams up and down the league, it's too good a league to have that in us, and teams will punish us, and teams have punished us, and teams are punishing us. So I think that's there. But the final 10 of the first half were very back and forth. I mean, it was a bit like 80th minute territory. You know, you'd have an attack, and it wouldn't be that the 5 minutes of keep ball, go ball forward, long throw forward, flick on through to keeper again. It was very much, you know, counter attacks from us quite a lot. They'd sit or try and play a ball forward. There was a lot of switching the ball, a lot of active play, which was really good to see, and not just kind of dull possession-based stuff, which was, you know, very good for the neutral, even the spectator, for either team. I don't think you could argue yesterday was a boring game by any means, but to go in at half-time 1-1, considering the difficult first 30 we had, yeah, positive signs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, going in there thinking, okay, we could have been blown away. We held on here, so coming out with a bit of hope for the second half, and paid off straight away almost. Brandon's goal, excellent ball in. He won a header.
I mean, it was brilliant movement from in the box. Liam Vincent's ball in was unbelievable. Turned around. Do you know what reminded me of? First game of the season, we went down. Josh Coley, ball in like for the third goal against Notts County. Amazing ball in. And Amari Patrick headed it. You know, he's a tallish guy, and Coley turns around to I think your stand behind you and kind of like celebrates towards you. Vincent did the same to the home stand here, and it was just a wonderful ball in. Great, really good header, like glancing,
yeah.
and it was coming and dipping quickly. And yeah, the celebrations from the players, it was almost, you could see just a weight lifted off their backs, and yeah. Did we deserve to be 2-1 up in the 47th minute? No.
Yes.
Did we? Well, I don't. Based on the game so far, however,
yeah,
it's not. I don't think we say, do they deserve to win it? I think deserve shouldn't come into it. It should be, we made the most of our chances, and we didn't have many chances, and we took them, and that's all that matters. And felt good in that moment. There was a positive buzz. It was a good time to be a Sutton fan.
but
For about
it was
10 minutes.
Yeah, it was one of those of, have we done this too early? Great to score always, but it's then like, right, are we now going to go for the throat, or are we going to try and say, right, let's hold this? I don't think we tried to hold it, but it did give them a lot of time to come back, and they did. Second goal, yeah, it's fine, whatever, equaliser. But we still we're in it. As you've already said, against a good side. We're in what I've been saying, awful August. We've got good sides all the time that we're playing. So yes, everyone wants a win, but a draw wouldn't have been the end of the world. But it's the third goal that was, well, now I've seen it back, it's not so much, but at the time it seemed quite controversial. Lots of people talking to me afterwards made it even worse. But your view at the time, you kind of looked at me quizzically when I said I've had lots of people say that did not cross the line, and you were like, I think it did. And I was like, well, the ref gave it, so yeah. But what was your view at the time? Because I wasn't sure, but I'm blind. So
I mean, you're actually, obviously you're closer, but I was obviously.
I was at the other end that time.
Oh, you're the other end. Well, I'm watching the PA booth now. My first decision was like, who the hell scored? Because I can't. Yeah. I'm not just going to do that. And it was either, well, they credited it to their number 9, their number 5 calibrated it. I went with number 5. The only reason I thought I thought it went in is because lack of protest from us. There's initial things, but it wasn't like the Vincent card where there was a lot of questions from everyone. It was much more like, okay, it's gone my scramble, it's gone in. There was not a lot of there was a look to the referee, but there wasn't too much hesitancy. There were a few Scunthorpe players, and I was like, kind of the way they're all slightly pretty sure that that's gone in, made me think, okay, that's gone in. You know, didn't clear our lines. They're a very aerially difficult team to play against, and yeah, I mean, the second goal again was disappointing. It just midfielders not picking back. I saw it about 5 seconds before it happened. Just Steve and John urging some players to get back, and the 2 players who didn't get back left the two players who linked up the assist and the goal scorer for Scunthorpe unmarked to hit it past Jack. So it's those little things. We looked a little bit tired at the 65th minute for some reason. And then they scored their second, they scored their third. We still looked tired. And then we were sprung into life by something which really should have put us down and out.
Yeah. So the red as well, I was kind of opposite the curve side. And I saw the challenge and I saw it was given as a free kick and I saw the ref talking to him. I did, in first viewing, obviously with the amber specs on, thought he's never booking him for that. And he wasn't booking him for it. What were your thoughts on that and what do you think since watching it back?
I didn't see it.
Right.
I was preparing to announce the raffle numbers for the club shop draw, which I then did while the remonstrations were happening. But because I'm just focused on my job. But I just thought. I literally didn't see it. I watched the replay afterwards. The moment your foot's up is the moment that you plant a seed of doubt in the referee's mind. You give him the option, and at that point, you can't have too many qualms with the decision. If the foot's down, and maybe you're a bit late, then it's a yellow, but it's never a red. But it's possible to potentially violent play. If your foot's up, you're engaging an opponent, and that's the reason. Steve had no problem. I only saw. I think I don't know if Liam thought his foot was down. He didn't seem. I think he seemed shocked by the fact that if he thought his foot was down, it was late. It wasn't as late. It was kind of a. It wasn't a 50-50, but it was about a 65-35, 60-40. Like it's not like he's gone in 2 seconds after the ball's passed or a second after the ball's passed and he just completely misjudged it. It on another day, if the Scunny player was slightly slower, he gets there. But he's gone in with the stud and the foot up, which that's the reason there's a law for that.
I've seen it described as a nothing challenge, and I've seen it described as a horror challenge, and sort of everywhere in the middle. It was like, okay, it was. I mean, there was one of them who was going to meet him in the car park afterwards. Not entirely sure.
Oh, I saw that. That made me laugh.
It's even at the match. But I'll see it in the car park. I was like, oh, all right, treacle. But yeah, Liam did sort of seem. He says, I need to see it back because I wasn't convinced. But like you said, he might have thought that he was a bit quicker to it than he was. But he's going to be a miss because, like you said, he had the cross for Brandon's goal. He was the one who set Nadders off on his great run against York to cross it in for David's goal.
So he kept Callum Roberts quite quiet.
Yeah, he's going to be a miss, especially as Vaz is limping around at the moment. So, Junior.
It should, and I'm going to say this, I think Junior should start even if Vaz was fit.
Yeah, but Junior's a right back, so Junior needs.
I'm aware, but Junior was good yesterday, and he was good at.
Excellent. Yeah,
he was good at Forest Green, and I think Vaz is as a number of players are, and it's not easy when you're losing, and people get dipping in and out of form. Vaz has struggled. He didn't look as zippy as you've seen him. And I think he's an excellent player. Showed it at times last season. He didn't look up to the standards that we saw, and I think Junior's chomping at the bit, trying to get in, and it's really done so. There's a reason we signed him on a pro. The only one of last year's cohort to sign on a pro. So
no, I haven't.
Yeah. Who else?
I don't know. I was just thinking, have we got anyone else? I don't know.
Well, I don't think Adam Rees signed a contract yet, and JT was the year before. So, obviously Vinny Toom and like Jordan Trickett and Liam Moore, they all played, but I don't think they're on the pro yet. So, there's a reason he really highly rates him. I hope to see him on it's tomorrow. I hope to see him tomorrow afternoon. It feels weird. And also I was going to say Tuesday, but the stupid Wednesday thing keeps messing up my head. But no, I think he deserved it. Yeah, I think he deserves it 100%.
Yeah. Steve, I mean, there's a few bits around this, so it might jump around a little bit because people have differing opinions. I mean, as Andy's quite fond of saying, people have just taken against Steve from January 2024, so it doesn't matter what happens. But in his interview, he's been quite sort of open and honest. I did notice there was a bit of edits in the interview, so he may have been even more open and honest. So, but he has said not good enough. It's not good enough. He's been quite clear from the start. Our home form is something they want to deal with this year. I mean, putting him back into perspective, that's 2 home games now, 1 draw, but against 2 very good sides. So it's if we'd played 2 of the lower ranked sides, we could have got 2 wins, and everyone would be like, "Oh, isn't it amazing?" But do you think that's what the players need to hear? Not good enough? I mean, clearly it is. It needs to make them work that a bit harder. But if you were a player in that dressing room, do you not think, "Oh, I wish he'd be defending us a bit more"?
Firstly, I filmed the interview. The edits were completely nothing to do with what Steve said. They were just
fair enough.
pauses in the questioning. It was just stuff like that. Mr. Ryan Herrick was on socials yesterday, as Mr. Bennett, our normal social media manager, was on at a festival. So he was doing the interview for the first time. Did amazingly well. Had some great questions, but that was nothing. Steve, I think everything he said was in the interview. As a dressing room, I think there's a worry that if, in my head, if he does come out and defends, it's not good enough. I agree. It isn't, and you have to make that clear. He knows it, but he's not also saying the players aren't good enough. He's also saying, by extension, he said it so many times, we are not good enough. He never says they're not good enough. It's always we, and he takes that the hardest. He really does. So I don't think, if I'm a player in that dressing room, I think they are very aware of the fact that the gaffer is so not happy with the way things are going, and it will if you don't think he doesn't know that, then I honestly don't know what to say to you. I think he takes it.
There's no point sugarcoating it, is there? There's no point.
No. Because sugarcoating it denies that there's actually a problem, which there is. Four home wins in 25, not home wins since January. That is a problem, and that's not. It isn't good enough. And for 22nd after 4 games, it's only 4 games, very difficult for 4 games, but they're not going to get any easier. The next 2 are very hard. And then you say, B Wood, Tamworth, Boston. Well, B Wood fighting for their lives and not expected to do very well, trying to uproot things and stay in this season. Tamworth, second season syndrome, can they do it again? But, a very difficult team to play. Boston had a great season last season. And you look at that, Woking now probably looking to prove a point after being at the foot of the table. There is no easy game. And you can't just say, we'll run through this, because if he says, they're difficult fixtures, they all are difficult fixtures. Every game in this league is a difficult fixture. Like you think, even Morecambe. I mean, look at Morecambe yesterday. Yeah, Morecambe, more than any other club in this league, will have the bit between the teeth to absolutely fight for every point, because no one expected them to be here. I'd hedge my bets to say 95% of people who attended that game yesterday thought we'd be playing a 23-man league this season. And everyone, I'm sure, when I announced yesterday that 98th minute winner for Morecambe against Altrincham, had a little, that's nice in the main stand, when to beat Altrincham on their first game back on the verge of extinction. So to say, these are tough games, it's a tough August, I don't think that's a valid excuse, because yes, they're good teams, but I don't think they've all been at their best. I don't think York were at their best. I don't think Solihull were at their best. I don't think Scunthorpe were at their best for the entire game. I think Forest Green were very, very good. And I think they, maybe people underestimated them because they thought, Robbie Savage, all that, at Forest Green, a bit wishy-washy. They look extremely capable as a side. And I mean, Rochdale, they would have thought, well, they clearly did think. Jim McNulty thought Brackley, who, aren't expected to do brilliantly, will be doing 11 changes yesterday and lost 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
They come now tomorrow at home where they're very strong, and they'll be thinking, right, we were expected to beat these lot and we had suffered an embarrassing defeat. So those 11 players who didn't play and got taken out of the lineup, they'll be trying to prove something. So that makes that game even harder. But comparing difficulty of fixtures in a league where everyone is there on merit is, I think, a pointless game. And just to go game by game and just to say, we're not good enough at the moment. That's the plain truth of it. I think it's the only thing that Steve can do, because sugarcoating it, going too harsh, either way, is going to have a negative effect on both the fans, which, let's be frank, I don't know how much worse it not. It's not the best at the moment. It's not, again, let's not sugarcoat it, or to say, it's a work in progress. All this, we've got progress to come, and there are some good things from today's game. We lost. You can have 76% possession, 95% pass accuracy, great rhythms, shots on target. No one cares. We didn't get the 3 points, and that's all he cares about. That's all we care about. We are the same. And if you don't think that, we all want the same thing. We want success. And if you think there are differing objectives in that squad, or in that, because I think in previous years gone by and recent years gone by, there have been individuals in the squads where they have different objectives to advance their careers. I tell you 100% right now, I do not believe that there is anyone in that dressing room who has differing objectives than to get this up to succeed this season, in the staff or in the players. So I think I think the way he handles it in the interview and over the last few weeks, it's the only thing he can do, because either way, you're not going to get a positive reaction, and it's a negative situation in the status quo.
Yeah. So before we go on to that, which is a lot of the points of view, do you think this is then too early? Because I think, differing opinion now, I think August was always going to be a really difficult thing, and if we had anything at the end of August, we were coming out of it all right. On paper, it looked really, really difficult. I'd actually forgotten that Boreham Wood had Matt Rush to come back and haunt us in a week or so's time. So thanks for that. But do we think that we're going to be then sucked into this relegation battle, or do you think we're going to then just start picking up the points quietly and get back up there towards the mid-end of the season? 10%, not even 10% of the season's gone. So
that's literally what I was going to say. I honestly don't know. It's all game by game at the moment, because if you're at the top, if you're the Southend's and the Scunthorpes and the Hartlepool and the XYZs of this world who are flying, you can afford to look in 2-3 game batches. We can't. We have to try and maximize points here, because as a club, it's not a good position, and you've got to think, okay, we can't just go, we'll lose at Rochdale and Carlisle, and we'll hopefully get points at B Wood. You've just discounted 6 points. I don't get that. I honestly don't get that mentality. You can't just discount games and be like, oh, we'll lose that. But what if we win? Because if we pick up 6 points in the next week, I can guarantee you everyone's going to be absolutely buzzing on Saturday night and being like, well, what changed? Like, oh, Steve got them to motivate. So, and the players click. Well, not everyone. I mean, you're never going to please everyone. That much I've learned over the last few years. But, if we get, 3-1 tomorrow, 4-0 Saturday, absolutely blow them away. Everyone plays off the park. Brilliant connection with the fans, roaring them on. The mood's completely different. So that's the first thing. You can't just discount games because they look hard on paper, because games like Scunthorpe and Solihull we'll expect those two. People were like, Scunthorpe went up last season. Oh, that should be a nice respite after a difficult few games against York and Forest Green. Look what happened yesterday. I honestly don't know, and that isn't me trying to play devil's advocate or anything, or not want to give an answer. I genuinely don't know, and I think if you ask me before I'm off to uni in late September, I'll be able to give you an answer, because you'll know where we're at as a club, as a fan base, and as a squad. It'll become more evident. But 4 games, I mean, Barnet lost how many last season? 7, 8, something like that. York lost more. I'll look it up now. But let's not look it up. Let's not ruin it. But you'll get the point I make.
Yeah. So I didn't put the points of view out thing again, because I could already see everyone's points of view. It was exactly the same as I recorded on the other night. More about relegation form and general glee and happiness that we're struggling. I'm of the opinion that you support the club as they are. You should not be demanding anyone out. That's certainly not going to help anyone, in my opinion. Also, I don't think necessarily changing managers this often helps. The biggest example, and you're way too young, you'll know who it is, but Alex Ferguson was in that job for 7-8 years, didn't win anything, and then went on winning everything because he had time to build. And then how many managers have they had since ruin what was built because they keep changing them over and over? You may or may not want to answer that question. It's completely up to you. But do you sense, like I'm getting frustrated on social media, the glee of certain people that we're losing?
Yes.
Yeah, good. It's not just because I only worked out recently. That's what's upsetting me, not the losses. It's the why are people pleased we're losing?
This is all our club. If you want the manager out, if you want this out, if you don't like him, if you like him, fine. A happiness but for losing to support what you believe is something I will never get. And if you think that's supporting a club, that's not right. You're not supporting a club. Then to get what maybe you know. And even Steve has said this: if you don't like me, fine. You know, he's not very difficult to get people that and we've been blessed in previous managers, Matt and Doz, and like there's a lot of people, a lot of people love them at this club, and you know it's differing relationships. It's got to change. Like we've had, you know, since 2008 we've had 3 managers, so you know it's different. Wishing failure or wishing bad results on a group who are trying to represent your club, that isn't support. That is the opposite. And I can't think of a word to describe right now, but it's not even, it doesn't make, you know, it makes me, it used to annoy me. Now I honestly physically don't understand it. And also people who are like, you don't have the XYZ to have an opinion because you've been here less time, or you don't come to the X pub, or all this stuff. I've just heard it over the last few weeks. I'm just like, guys, we all like the club. There's no right way to be a football fan. People enjoy it in different ways. I am no less of a fan of Sutton United than Mike Dowling, and Mike Dowling is no less of a fan. He's been here longer, but we both throw ourselves into the club. We both love it. We both want to see it do well. And when it doesn't, we stick together. It is more important that you stick together in times of difficulty than in times of success, because everyone can enjoy each other's success, but difficulty needs the cohesion. And right now we have anything but cohesion amongst a fan base. And it's really, really damaging, and both on and off the pitch.
Well, there's a couple of things. A lot of it is because, as you said, they don't like Steve for whatever reason. But then a lot of these people who are very vocal about not liking him have never actually turned up to the any of the events that Claire put on to actually meet him. And some people who were a little bit like don't like him, when they're at the events and they've met him and spoke to him, they're like, oh, actually, I've changed my opinion. And you actually see some of them now who were anti defending, which is quite interesting. But yeah, it's odd. There were people who seemed unhappy that we equalised, that we took the lead yesterday. Didn't celebrate us taking the lead. But anyway, we're gonna move on. I'm skipping the next, the good, the bad, and funny. We're just going to talk about Rochdale very, very quickly. So as you said, they rested 11 players, which who knows whether that's some kind of protest at these fixtures being so many. I mean, it's ridiculous you have to play that many fixtures in 1 month. But it's coming thick and fast, which in one way for us at the moment, that's what I was going to say, we're not in a crisis. The league table didn't actually used to get printed until 6 or 10 games. So many, many years ago, you would never know where you were in comparison to everyone else because the table just was never printed. So
really? Wow.
Yeah. So it was a case of, you might have an idea what teams have won and work it out yourself, but it was never anywhere. But we are away. I don't think we've had happy hunting at Rochdale for a little while. But how do you see the game going? Again, we're going to be difficult to know what kind of side they're putting on. Yeah, how do you see it going? And just in general, really, do you think we're going to come away with anything at the end, and a prediction at the end as well?
It will be a very, very tough game. They'll be wanting to get back off the mat after being beaten by a side again, which perceives to be weaker. Yeah, maybe they are weaker, but they're not a pushover. There's a reason they're in this league. They won the National League North last year. And who did they beat? Who did they beat to that title? The team who beat us 3-2 yesterday. So they're massively, that being Brackley. Yeah, they'll be difficult. We'll again also want to get off the mat. Two defeats in a row, one away, one at home. It will be difficult. A point is great away. A win's even better. I'm never going to predict it. Do I think we will struggle? If they're on form, yes, because I think we are struggling at the moment ourselves. And do I think they maybe have a bit more quality at this moment in their team, considering what they've shown before yesterday's game? Yes. However, have we seen this team's quality this season in very small patches? We've seen it in patches yesterday, patches at Forest Green, and in patches at York. Maybe is it time for it all to come together? Perhaps. But to go into it being like, well, we've lost. Yeah, never. You can't do it. It's not supporting it. You've got to go, right, might lose this day because they are a very good team. But to not go in with the desire to cause an upset, to shut up the home end, it boggles me that you don't have that. So I think it'll be a high intensity game. They've got a lot of energy. Players who didn't get a start yesterday, likes of Nades Jr. coming in maybe for Liam. They'll want to prove themselves. Maybe the likes of Dylan and Jack off the bench, who were on the bench yesterday, will want to prove that. Maybe Mo getting his first start. They'll have something to prove. They weren't selected for yesterday's game. It's a 48-hour turnaround. Show the youth fans, show Steve, show John, show the Rochdale fans, show the league what they can do. And I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw, a battle game. Maybe we have to sit a bit deeper, but we're defensively resolute, and we seem quite good on the counter this year. Simper maybe get us off and running with the goals. But the one thing I think to go into it saying we've lost, or to not go, or to not follow it, or to not all this because you think we're going to lose. Yeah, that is exactly what we don't need right now. Really not. And not exactly. And even if you don't like Steve, not what Steve reads right now, it's definitely what the players don't need right now. Because at these times, and I was speaking to I was speaking to AB yesterday, and I said to him, the one thing I remember from our relegation season is when the mood was high, when we was a little bit of a chance where something could happen, we were so united. Those games against Forest Green, Salford, Swindon, Accrington Stanley in the Royal Marsden kit, Doncaster till the last minute, Colchester, where 1-1, and that we were just coming forward relentlessly, Lake and Drew McKenna, Smith. I remember those games, and I'm just thinking, where's this? We were dead and buried at Christmas. We had less than 10 points, and we lost 8-0 to Stockport. And still, yeah, I know it's a new manager. We were so together. We were really, really tightly knit as a fan base. We need that now. And I know we're in the National League, and I know it's less sexy than the EFL, and I know they're smaller teams, and I know it's, it's not the man who took us up to the EFL. It's still your club. And that is one thing we need right now, because if there's one thing we're crying out for on the pitch, off the pitch, in the staff, it's a bit of just community feeling, which is this club. And it's still there. You can still see it there on match day and stuff. But you need everyone to just come together and be like, we need to back these lot, because they need it from us. When you're down, if you've got nothing from the fans, you saw the video on Friday. They are asking for it. They want that. The players wanted to do that. The players were really up for doing that. I filmed it, and I was like, what are we going to say? How are we going to do it? We want it to look good. They want that. They want the connection. And if there is no effort from the fans, they'll stop trying, less motivation to perform, and, it gets worse. So no matter what the score is tomorrow, no matter how we play, the decision, support Support. That should be the thing for the next 2 games, because it's rough, and we've gone through rough times before. We'll go through rough times again. It will improve. Just they will feel so much rougher if everyone's just warring each other.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That does not.
I sound like a motivational speaker, but it wasn't even my intention to come on the podcast. Just you think about it, and I know I spoke about it briefly with you yesterday, Mike, and we were just both like, we need it like now.
Yeah, I exude positive energy.
Very much.
Yeah, I think one of the little points where you say, "Oh, we shouldn't be going in expecting to lose." I think the way I am, I'm an Ireland supporter, and I was during the Jack Charlton years, and it was always you want to win, but you expect to lose, and that way your expectations are either exceeded or okay, never mind. But the other thing is, I just clicked as you were saying, Steve won't care if people like him. I was like, oh yeah, he's Millwall. He absolutely won't care. But I care because you just need to speak to him. He's good. He's funny. He just doesn't get to show it very often.
He is actually very funny.
Yeah, especially if we've lost. He doesn't want to do that whole talking. He wants to sulk and his long journey home. But interesting you said 1-1, because that is what the AI has predicted as well.
Maybe I am, Mike.
And it said Brandon. Oh my God, that would be so much easier than getting guests. I could just do AI avatars. But it said that Brandon's going to score, which is better than last week where it said Will Davies was going to score. And I've actually, being me, I've gone 2-1 to Sutton with Nadders to score. So full of confidence. Talk to me in December.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to wrap it up. I've kept you a little while, and we appreciate the attention and feedback. I'm not doing the sound effect. Joe and I just discovered there's little sound effects on here that
I'm not involved. He found it and spent like 3 minutes playing with it while I slowly ignored him.
It's like, isn't that good? I don't know how loud that is, but anyway.
It's loud in my ears, too loud.
Let us know how you manage the highs and lows of a season and how you deal with it. Follow, like, and share at Sutton Podcast on all social medias. And let us know, leave us a review on any of the review things. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's doing John Cena. I'm not sure.
5 stars.
Oh, 5 stars. Sorry. Yeah. Damn it. I didn't know the hashtag one. Anyway, big thank you to our sponsors, Lucky Star Gin. Big thank you to Joe for going solo today. And thanks for everyone for listening. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. United!